What's crack like? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So before we get into the starts and sits of the week at quarterback, just want to say thank you so much. Right now, channel, it's under review for monetization. We're going places. But in all seriousness, got a great community. Much obliged. I look forward to bigger things in the future. But this is the first step. And then we're just gonna keep climbing. I got big visions. I got big dreams. Let's just talk about quarterbacks. But yeah, thumbs up. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, subscribe, become a bro, and do that. It's much appreciated, much obliged. We got Drew Brees out. We got no Andy Dalton. Excuse me, Ryan Finley. No Jared Goff. We got no Matt Ryan. So who do we start at quarterback? Well, let's take a look at these matchups. We're going to start with that Thursday night game. San Fran versus Arizona. Garoppolo, honestly, he's a very low-end start if you're in a bind. I mean, he's only scored 20 once over the course of the whole season. I mean, it's probably going to be a run-heavy script. That's typically what they do. They're a run-heavy team, but it's a great matchup. The Cardinals are terrible against opposing quarterbacks. As for Kyler Murray, he's entering this tough stretch of games where he, quite frankly, you might want to look elsewhere. I mean, it includes 2 games against San Fran, and they've given up the second least amount of points to quarterbacks, so it's not good. I mean, just take a look what happened last week with New Orleans. He only scored 12.5. Should be much of the same. Let's go ahead. Let's go to London. We're traveling to London, man. We're going across the ocean. We got Houston versus Jacksonville. Quite frankly, both these quarterbacks are great starts this week. You can't sit Winston. I mean, the guy's just been unbelievable, and you probably drafted him so high that you have to start him. But Minshew, man, put on a clinic against the Jets, and it should be more of the same. Houston's really been torn apart, and now there's no J.J. Watt, so I don't know, not much to fear about that Houston defense. Now we got the Dolphins versus the Jets, man. My game of the week, if you didn't know. Now you know. But Darnold, he's not a bad plug and play. He's not a bad 1-week rental if you really need to fill in. I mean, the Dolphins are 29th against opposing quarterbacks, so there is that. And then Fitzpatrick, honestly, he's a very, very, very low-end start here. Again, I would look elsewhere, but it's not a terrible matchup. Washington versus Buffalo, man, and I don't care who starts for the Redskins. The answer is no. I mean, they face Buffalo. They're 4th against opposing quarterbacks, and quite frankly, you shouldn't have any quarterback from the Redskins on your roster. As for Buffalo, man, I don't feel confident about Allen this week. I know, you know what, the Redskins, they're so-so against opposing quarterbacks, but that's really because teams just run all over them. And quite frankly, Allen, I think he will be limited to a run-heavy script here with Gore and Singletary. So if you can, I wouldn't start Allen this week. And then Vikings versus the Chiefs, very interesting matchup. Let's start with the good in this matchup. It's a great matchup against the Chiefs, man. Cousins, he should have a great game, but I mean, it could be a similar game as to the Redskins where he didn't have to really do much because the run defense for the Chiefs is pretty awful. Now, as for Mahomes, he's right now doubtful. So I would kind of listen, see what reports are saying, and yeah, but more, man. He looked good in the system. If he does start, I mean, it was kind of Alex Smith light, but yeah, it is kind of a tough matchup. The Vikings are 10th against opposing quarterbacks, so I'd feel more comfortable if it was Mahomes. I don't feel as comfortable if it's Moore. And then Chicago versus Philly. Oh, let's just say Mitch Trubisky. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Mitch Trubisky. As for Wentz, man, this Eagle team, and it's kind of a bad characteristic they have. They start the season super slow because they got a ton of talent. We know that that squad is chock full of talent, but they're slow starters, and then they really start getting it going, putting it into third gear. But it's a tough matchup. The Bears, they're 7th against opposing quarterbacks, and I mean, honestly, I think there's better starts out there, so I'd stay away from Wentz. Colts versus the Steelers. again, this is a tough one because Brissett, he's facing a so-so defense. It's a tough matchup, honestly, against Pittsburgh, who's been playing a lot better defensively. So I would say start at your own risk. Same kind of goes for Rudolph, because Indy, they're pretty good defensively. They're really good, actually. They're 13th against opposing quarterbacks. So, I mean, again, start at your own risk if there's nothing better out there. But I don't feel comfortable with it. Tennessee versus Carolina. Tannehill. Ooh, Tannehill. I know he's been a hot commodity, but this should be a run-heavy game. They should run all over Carolina. This should be a very Derrick Henry-centric game. So I don't think he's a good start. And then Kyle Allen, he's a starter here as they wait for Cam Newton to come back. But I don't think it's a good start this week. Tennessee's a pretty tough defense. They're 14th against opposing quarterbacks. Again, I would look for better starts out there, just like our next game. Detroit versus Oakland. Let's start with Matthew Stafford, because this is the easy one. That Oakland defense has been, especially the secondary, has been ripped apart, ripped a yonder. And Stafford, man, he's hot. They don't really have much of a run game right now, so you ride Stafford. But Carr has I think he's a very good one week rental here. They're Detroit, they're 25th against opposing quarterbacks. And we saw them get exposed by Daniel Jones last week, since they've lost Diggs in the secondary there. So, yeah, I think he's a good start this week. I absolutely do. So, what about the Bucks versus the Seahawks? I don't know why I said it like that. I say things weird, man. My apologies. But Jameis Winston, man, as much as I hate to say it, it's Seahawks are 22nd against opposing quarterbacks. And, I mean, the guy throws so much, he's basically startable. Even if he's throwing picks, he throws for so many yards that he's honestly not a terrible start. So there's that. Then Wilson. You start Wilson every week. If you're the Russell Wilson owner, then congratulations. You did good. Cleveland versus Denver. Baker, man, this is absolutely he's not startable right now. Not at this point. He's been playing bad. Denver's secondary has actually played very well this year. And, yeah, they're third against opposing quarterbacks, so I don't like what I see. As for our new boy, no Joe Flacco anymore. We got Allen here. And, yeah, I want no part of that. Yeah, no, I don't care. Yeah, there's better starts. Oh, gosh. I'd rather start Baker. And Green Bay versus the Chargers. Man, Phillip Rivers is ice cold. The offense has looked bad. They just fired their offensive coordinator. So it's hard to trust them against Green Bay. They're 8th against opposing quarterbacks. As for Rodgers, though, tough matchup. Chargers, they're 6th against opposing quarterbacks, but you ride the hot hand. You ride the hot hand of Aaron Rodgers, because he is looking phenomenal. And we got the Tom Brady-led Patriots versus the Lamar Jackson-led Ravens. A very interesting matchup. I think Brady right now is a tough matchup. Baltimore, they're 9th against opposing quarterbacks, but it's hard not to trust Brady. I think he's a low-end QB1. As for Lamar Jackson, I'd start him, but I'd temper my expectations. Honestly, this is a tough matchup against the best defense in the league. And honestly, the only thing that is going to be getting Lamar Jackson points is his huge rushing upside. It is what it is. That's what Sunday night's going to look like. So if you're the Lamar Jackson owner, I would feel a little queasy. I would. I'm sorry, man. My bad. But Monday night, man, we got Cowboys versus the Giants. Dak. This should be a great day for Dak. We remember what he looked like last time they took on the Giants, and the Giants are way more injured on defense. So this should be a good matchup for Dak. As for Daniel Jones, Cowboys, they're 5th against opposing quarterbacks. So yeah, that is a hard negative, sir. But that's it for the video. Again, much appreciated, much obliged. We're all well on our way to doing something great. I have big plans in the future. I want to get a Discord going next football season and trying to get just the community more involved, you know, like maybe with a pick'em or maybe our own fantasy league, stuff like that. Like I got plans. Trust me, I got plans. plans. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.